Alright, lads. I have been getting into sim racing and got some knowledge that I wanted to share. I've been looking for a starter wheel for the last few months and finally got one after around 3 to 4 months of research. And I didn't want this knowledge to go to waste, so here it is. Now I'm going to assume you have a PC, Xbox, or a PlayStation. Yeah, and let's just get into it, shall we? So tip number one is going to be that second-hand is your best option. If you have the budget for a new entry-level wheel, you could try to get a second-hand, mid-level wheel, but in most scenarios, people don't want to pay $300 for something they're not sure if they'll like or not. Now, second-hand and entry-level wheel is just great because there's an abundant amount of second-hand entry-level wheel. Now, this comes from two types of people mainly. The first kind will be the experienced one who's upgrading his gear and just want the extra cash for his old wheel. This will have somewhat of a wear, but it will still be decent. The second one is peop- second one are people who realize sim racing ain't for them. So they just are trying to get whatever cash they can from the wheel they got, but it'll still be expensive, whereas the wear is gonna be like kind of brand new. So regardless, it will be much cheaper than buying a new wheel. Now we have talked a lot about wheels and second-hand wheels, but which wheels should we get? I mean, you can get wheels like the Hori Apex or PXN wheel for dirt cheap, but I recommend saving up for the wheels I'm going to show you. The reason I don't recommend the Hori Apex or the cheap PXN wheels are because they are not force feedback. And I'm playing with a force feedback wheel, and I don't think I can ever go back to a regular wheel after using this. So the wheels I'm gonna focus on today is the TMX or T150 from Thrustmaster. Hey there, editing Radix here. I made some mistake here. So you can actually also get the TMX Pro or T150 Pro, which is basically like the G29 because it has 3 pedals. I forgot to mention it here. So yeah, so if you get that, you can go for that one too. That's much better than the normal TMX or T150. Anyways, G920 or G29 from Logitech. The older G27 is also a viable option, but expect to have a minimum of 5 years of wear. The TMX is for PC and Xbox, while T150 is for PS and PC. Similarly, the G920 is for PC and Xbox, while G29 is for PC and PlayStation. Now, be very careful when you're choosing the wheel, because you want to get the right one, and you don't want to mess up if you have a PlayStation or Xbox. If you have a PC, it doesn't really matter. Go for whichever one is the cheaper one and less used. Now the G27 doesn't seem to have an Xbox counterpart as far as I researched. It does work with older Xboxes, but I don't think it works with the newer ones. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're buying it for an Xbox. I would only recommend it for like PC, because you might have compatibility issues with PS4 and with PS5 actually. It might work fine with PS4. I'm not sure, but you can research that if you're interested in the wheel. Regardless, each of these wheels have their own pros and cons. Now, the TMX is the wheel that I currently own and can talk confidently about. The TMX and the T150 is basically the same. So is G920 and G29. So it doesn't really matter. It's just a bit of color difference and whatnot. So for me, the TMX works wonders, and doesn't have anything that I can point out being bad. It does get loud, but that's mainly due to it being gear driven instead of belt driven like more expensive wheels. Now, all the wheels here, they're gonna be gear driven, and they are going to get loud at times, like if you crash into a wall or something. But regardless, it's not that bad. The wheel has pedal shifters, so on the side you can hear the pedals, an Xbox button layout on the wheel, and there's a connectable pedal set with 2 pedals, one accelerator and one brake, and that's about it. So the thing with TMX is you can buy other stuff to upgrade your wheel. So there's the T3PA, which is a 3-pedal add-on, which is also compatible with the wheel. You can buy for like extra cash. Then there's also the T3PA Pro, which is the same thing, but it's like inverted and it hangs in the air, so it feels like a real car. And there's also the TH3A or something like that, which is the H shifter for the TMX series or the T150s. Now to the G29, which I would say is somewhat of a better option in a way. So the G29 is basically the same thing, except it has 3 pedals automatically, so no paying extra for like a T3PA. And I don't know, I'm not sure if I trust any rumors, but I heard sometimes people saying that the pedals feel kind of cheap in terms of the pressure and so on. But those are things people say, so you might want to check a video for that if you're interested in that. I'm just gonna say that. And then we have the G27. Now the G27 was last produced in 2015, so it's last produced. So people might have it from before 2015. People might buy it like, a bit late, 2016, 2017. Regardless, it will have a lot of wear. I'm gonna say this right now. You should be careful when you buy one. Go take your laptop, whatnot, test it out on the area, and then buy it. I don't want you to get into any trouble. The G27 also comes with a 3-pedal set, and it has an H shifter along with pedal shifters, which is better because you don't need to buy any of the T3PA or the TH3A or something or anything, or the add-on H shifter for the G29 or anything. It comes with all of that. Now the one problem I have with G27 after all of this is, obviously it's pretty old, but also there's no wheels on the button. All the wheels are on the H shifter. So what this means is, like, if you're driving a racing car and you want to switch the braking bias to front or back, or you want to enable DRS or enable ERS, you have to move your hand from the wheel and onto the gear for you to actually change that up, and that kind of messes with some people. Regardless, it all comes down to what you plan to do and what price you get on the wheel. It's all preference at this stage. Now finally, what games to play. So I'll go through all the systems. So PlayStation, the hardcore games, GT7, Gran Turismo 7, and Assetto Corsa Competizione. Then you have F1 Series, WRC, and Dirt, which are chill, but at the same time hard. And the only arcade game I would say for PS is the CarX Drift Racing. Obviously, I'm talking a bit of realism here, like a bit of realism and arcade. You have the NFS series, the other car games, but these are the ones people mainly play a lot, or I know about, and I recommend. Obviously, if you want a racing feel, go for GT7 or ACC. For Xbox, again, you have Assetto Corsa Competizione and Forza Motorsport 7. Those are the hardcores. You also have Project Cars, F1, WRC, and Dirt on the Xbox. Then there are the arcade games like Forza Horizon 5 and CarX Drift Racing. Now, if you don't have a console or a PC, I would recommend a PC, but a PC will get more expensive than a console. And if you're going for a console, I would recommend the Xbox over the PlayStation, just because of the game choices. And there's the Xbox Game Pass and whatnot. It just makes Xbox better than PlayStation. And especially if you have an Xbox, you get Forza Horizon 5 on Xbox. You move on to PC later, you can still get it on the PC, which is just amazing. So yeah, I would recommend an Xbox over PC or PlayStation. Both these consoles also have access to Assetto Corsa, but I feel like Assetto Corsa is a game which becomes better as you mod it. I'll explain this more. On PC, you have Assetto Corsa Competizione, iRacing, Race Factor 2, Forza Motorsport 7. You also have something called the Race Room Experience, which are all amazing games. All are sim-based, I would say iRacing is one of the best ones out there. You'll find most of the serious drivers. You might even find pro drivers, like people who are racing the F1 and whatnot. But it does have a subscription setup, and most people say to have fun in it, you need at least $200 per year on it to spend on it. So that's there. Then you have Project Cars, F1, WRC, Dirt on PC as semi-chill, semi-hardcore. The most fun ones are obviously Forza Horizon 5, CarX Drift Racing, and Assetto Corsa. Now, all of these games are fun, but I really love Assetto Corsa. The game I'm playing right now is Assetto Corsa. I'm playing on a map called Lake Lewis with the GD86. It gives me the track racing experience along with street racing and rally racing. It's just fun to take out any car you want, mod it perfectly to your taste, and then do whatever you want. Drifting, street racing, rally racing. sim racing, it's just crazy. But personally, I wouldn't recommend it on anything other than PC. Now, I know this isn't enough, so I'll be on Discord answering any questions you got. The Discord link will be in the description. If all is well, I'll probably do a stream in the future, just for you guys to check in and ask questions. That will be announced on my Discord once again. And that's all for today. And if you watched till here, I absolutely appreciate you. A sub, a share, a like, anything helps. Maybe even comment down below saying what I should improve, what you liked and what not. And that's all for today. I guess that's adios.